Hi, my name is Leisha Delgado, and the person I chose for my most influential educator is Elisa Lopez. She was my teacher during high school. She was my sophomore English teacher. I decided to choose this person because she went far and beyond for all her students. She had an idea of always engaging and always making sure that all of her students understood what they were learning. This was just not to get her students as a task to learn. She made sure each of the students had their own way and had their own experience in her class. It was just not a class that was filled with desks, and it was just not four walls. It always felt like a place where teachers and students could just go in and express themselves. This is where communication skills came into. She demonstrated that these are important things that we need further in life, not just during school. She made sure that her students always found ways to improve, and she was always there pushing them beyond their limits. Me as a student personally, I learned and I improved so much with my writing skills and my communication skills thanks to her. She always made sure we all found a way to learn, not just fit into what normal school learning is or what teachers think that helps their students learn. We were always on task. Thanks to her, she made school seem like not just a task or not just something out of textbooks. She always made sure she found ways where we could express ourselves and we could be creative and have our whole potential out and make sure we were always expressing ourselves, not just feeling like students going into schools. She found ways where she would make us laugh, she would make us have fun, she would make us feel special in her class. She would make us go far and beyond, where we always had the chance to not only express ourselves in school work, but we also had the chance to express ourselves with her. She was always a mentor, not only for school, but during our lives too. She gave us advice that helped us get through that year of high school and prepare for junior year, which was mostly the hardest year we had. She made sure we just were able to be ourselves in her class. And that is why I'm so grateful and so thankful for Elisa Lopez and her improvement in my education.
My name is Penelope Johnson, and for my most influential educator, I chose my coach, Coach Kiwis. He has been teaching me not just dance, but life skills ever since I was a freshman. I immediately felt at home in his program and never wanted to pull myself away from the dance room. He makes each and every one of his students feel welcome and pushes them to do their very best. As my coach, he has led me to many successes. Me and my team have become state champions, performed for the Phoenix Suns and Tucson Roadrunners, as well as many community events. But beyond all of that, he has taught me how to be a great leader, teammate, teacher, and a good person. Every day, I'm given the opportunity to fix my mistakes from the day before and come back better than the day before. Compassion and kindness are his top values, and they have taught me so much. I've made countless amazing memories thanks to him, and I know the impact he's had on me and my life will last a lifetime.
Hi, my name is Enrique Rodriguez, or Kiki, and for my most influential teacher, I chose Miss Lopez, who was my middle school gifted teacher. And I chose her because she really encouraged me to not be afraid to think differently. You know, she really just encouraged me to think outside of the box, to try new things. And she really helped me branch out and become a less shy person. So by the time I got to high school, I was a lot more comfortable with myself as a person, and I wasn't afraid to branch out and try new things. And she was always just a very understanding person. I always felt like I could talk to her about anything, whether it be school related or just personal. I felt like she was always just a shoulder that I could lean on, and she was just a very warm, caring person, and I think that showed in her teaching and outside of school as well. And I just want to thank her for really opening me up as a person and helping me become the version of myself that I am proud of to be today.
Hi, I'm Luna Yoder, and the person I chose as my most influential educator is Miss Taft. She was my marching band coach for the last 3 years. She was very influential to me because she basically picked the marching band program back up. It was very difficult my freshman year. We were coming straight out of COVID, and she picked up the pieces and she brought it back to its full potential. She taught me the importance of being a good leader. She taught me how to be a better person. She taught me to, as a leader, be a servant and not use it as a role, as a status role. And overall, she just inspired me to become a better person in general. She taught me how to lead the marching band with my heart and with my aspirations, and I'm really proud to have been under her coaching.
My name is Daniel Alvarez, and I chose my sister Marisela Alvarez as my educator of influence. So the reason I chose my sister over other teachers or other influencers was because my sister really set the standard for me and my other sister. You know, she's the first person in our family to go, to college. She's first generation. So for me, that was more like the benchmark, something I have to aim for, something I need to strive for. And also, she's a role model for me, being the older sister, being the older sibling. She goes through everything before me, so I can look up to her and ask her questions, like, hey, what is this like? What is that like? It's not just in school, a hard assignment, a hard test that she could help me with, but also any problems, anything mentally, anything that I would struggle with, she could help me. I always knew that she was there for me. The results of her hard work, the hard work that she put in now and in college, and really just in everything she did, that made it easier for her, built her an easier life. And that's something I look forward to doing as well. It's something I'm going to be aiming for.
Hi, my name is Milan Wilkinson, and for my inspirational educator, I chose Colonel Ronnie Sinclair. I had known Colonel before I entered high school. He was my archery teacher along with his wife, Mrs. Sinclair, and so we kind of kept in touch beforehand. So when I did enter high school, he brought up the idea of me joining JRTC, which I initially had no intention of, but when I did, I was able to have a whole new set of opportunities open up to me, and Colonel really pushed me to be able to try all of those things. Colonel really allows you to think in a certain way because of the way he teaches. He teaches real life situations, which differs from a lot of the other classes where they're strictly curriculum based. But he kind of teaches you like real life examples. So I've heard even from previous graduates that they've thanked him for being able to expose those situations to him younger, and I'm grateful that he's been able to do that for me as well. Even now that he has retired, he's been pushing me to fill out scholarships and just keeping me motivated. So I think as an educator, it's good that he's been real throughout the whole process and pushed me to do better so that I can reflect on these things in a good way.
My name is Santiago Rojo, and I chose Coach Stolman as my influential educator. The reason I chose Coach Stolman is because I feel that the things he taught me inside the weight room also translated to me as a student. One of the main things that he helped me with was a work ethic. He would always be pushing me inside the weight room, and he gave me a sense of, oh no, you can't give up when something is challenging. That feeling is something that helped me a lot when I would be doing assignments that I would be struggling with. Instead of me wanting to give up, I thought about how hard I pushed in the weight room and how hard I should be pushing as a student as well. Also, he gave me a mindset that there's no days off when you're trying to achieve greatness. Sometimes when I wouldn't have motivation in order to do some assignments or to do a project or anything I had to do, I would think about how he told me, no, you can't give up. If you're trying to become the best version of yourself, you can't take any days off. And honestly, that motivation would be what would get me up to do the challenging assignments I had to do. He also helped me become a better athlete. Obviously, as the weights coach, he was always in the weight room pushing me to give my 110% effort, and I did. And I think that him just being there for me, always looking out for me and wanting to push me to become the best that I could, really helped me out. I think that some of the mental strategies that he gave me, some breathing techniques and other things that helped me calm down, when I would feel stressed or I would feel anxious, there are things that they're gonna stick with me through my whole life. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Miranda Moreno Urias, and my most influential educator is Mr. Kumar. Mr. Kumar, where do I start? It's now been 3 years that I've had the honor to have him as my teacher, and I think the change he's influenced in me has been evident. Before his class, I think I was a decent student, just doing what I had to do to get by. But after I met him, that changed completely. He taught me to push my limits and to leave my comfort zone in order to excel. He's taught me to challenge myself and to get over my fear of asking questions. But most importantly, he's believed in me more than I have in myself. In his class, I've experienced every type of emotion, from failure and frustration to feeling like the smartest person ever. But overall, his faith in me has never gone away. When I was convinced I couldn't do something, he was always there to remind me that I could do it. And when I convinced myself that I would not do something, he was there to guide me to do it. So I owe a lot of my accomplishments to him, and I think everyone should have a teacher like him in their lives. A teacher who truly cares and dedicates himself 100% to what he does. And I think the respect everyone has for him goes to show the impact that he has on people who meet him. So I don't think I've said this enough over the past few years, but thank you, Mr. Kumar, for being one of my biggest role models of hard work, commitment, and patience. I'm leaving high school knowing that I can accomplish anything that I want to do because of you and all your support.
My name is Ruben Gomez. The most influential educator that I chose is Miss Ana Romero Davis. And the reason that I chose her is that her class is one of the most entertaining and engaging classes that I've had, while also being super educational. The reason that I chose her was because the way that she managed the class. She would have interactions between students, and we would honestly talk a lot about the subject instead of just learning from it. And everything that was taught to us was made in the way of a conversation instead of a lecture. All the information that she taught me was retained in my brain really well, and I wouldn't be the person that I am today if it wasn't for her class. A lot of the ideals that I currently have now, and a lot of the history that I pride myself in knowing, all came from her class. Thank you, Ms. Romero Davis, for making learning fun.
Hi, my name is Suri Juliet Brett, and the teacher I'd like to recognize is Ms. Van Zynen for the great impact she has made on my high school experience. She was my Spanish teacher during freshman and sophomore year, and she always created a classroom filled with positivity and encouragement as well as creativity. Even though I already knew Spanish, she made me excited to learn more. Beyond the lessons, she made me feel valued and supported. Muchas gracias, Ms. Van Zynen, por todo su apoyo y paciencia. Realmente la aprecio mucho y me ha hecho un impacto muy grande en mi vida.
Hi, good evening. My name is Carol Valdez, and the most influential teacher that I have had during my academic journey was Miss Laura Nelson. She was my 4th grade teacher and my choir teacher in elementary school. She is a very creative and inspiring woman, and she was never afraid to be herself, which is a quality that I deeply admire. She never hesitated to lend a helping hand, especially to her students. She always remained my #1 fan and always pushed me to go beyond whatever I did. And I just love her so much. She was always there for me when I needed her. She never failed to make me laugh and smile on a rough day. And I am so incredibly grateful that she was able to be here with me on this special night. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sandy Villaseñor, and I chose Mrs. Brierton. She was my French teacher from my freshman to my junior year at my old school, and the reason why I chose her is because throughout those years I had some struggles with my family, and she was just always someone that I could go to, that I could have conversations with her. She always gave me good advice, always listened to me. And then of course, you know, the relationship struggles and with friends, with boyfriends, and like I said, she was always there listening to me. When I moved away, she did say how much she was gonna miss me. I still have contact with her, and I think she just played a huge role in my life as like why I do so well, because I feel that without her I wouldn't have mental stability, and I don't think I would have pushed myself a lot, because she did push me a lot to continue with my school, to go above and beyond and to do well, and I thank her, and yes.
Hi, my name is Emmanuel Verdugo. My educator of choice is Mr. Carlos Duran, and I chose him for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, I chose Duran because of his loyalty. He stayed with our coaching program for 4 years, more, I'm pretty sure he stayed for at least 8. And out of all the coaches I had, 20 plus coaches, he's the only one who stayed all 4 years. And to me that means a lot, because out of all those coaches I had no one to look up to, because no one stayed for that entirety. And he had a big impact on our team as a whole, because that loyalty means a lot to us. And him sticking through it when things got tough is something that no other coach could replace, with their amount of skills, talent, whatever it may be. And that to me means Carlos Duran isn't just an educator. He's a good person, he's a good friend, he's a good human being to all of us. And without Mr. Duran, I don't know if I would have ever stayed in football, because he pushed me harder than anyone's ever pushed me. And he also taught me how to work hard and have resilience, because without him, I wouldn't know what it means to work hard, to push myself every day, to wake up in the morning and get out of bed and be ready. Because of him, he taught me how to do those things and how to man up and just be a good player, be a good person. Because of Carlos Duran, I learned how to work my absolute hardest every single day, even when things got tough. I came to school every day, I learned my hardest, I came to practice, worked hard, and that was all because of him, because of his inspiration to me and to the rest of my teammates. His loyalty and his hard work and dedication all inspired me. And that's really who made me who I am today, and I'm very, very thankful to him.
Hello, my name is Elsie Acosta, and the teacher I chose to honor is Ms. Kate Rendon. I am filled with gratitude for the impact you have made throughout my high school years. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and encouraging me to pursue my passions. You have always been a guide for me in the business world. Both of my sisters had you and have always told me how fun you were as a teacher. When I got to your classroom, you exceeded my expectations. Ms. Rendon's classroom has always been a fun environment, and this year I decided to join FBLA to continue my business journey. I will be continuing my business journey thanks to you in the University of Arizona. Thank you, Ms. Kit Rendon, for always being so encouraging. I'll forever be grateful for you.
Hi, my name is Juliana Alvarez, and for my most influential teacher, I chose Miss Johnson. I have had her as a teacher now for 2 years, and throughout those 2 years, all she has done is support me and motivate me throughout my journey with poetry. I was introduced to this whole new world with poetry thanks to her, and it became one of my greatest passions. And not only did she introduce me to it, but she also helped me embrace it. Thanks to her, I have gotten so many opportunities with it, and I was able to get known as a poet throughout Arizona, which is one of my greatest accomplishments and something I am very, very proud of. And I just have her to thank for it, for her support and the guidance that she has given me throughout the whole process. I know very few teachers that would move mountains for their students, and she is definitely one of them. She has gone above and beyond for me, and she didn't need to. I am just so thankful to have her as a teacher for my last 2 years, and she just made it worth coming to school.
Hello, my name is Kenna Ray Bollier, and I decided to choose my 9th grade Cambridge mathematics teacher, Mr. Philip Brown, as my most influential educator. I decided to go with him because he was the first teacher that taught me that there was more to life than just academics. Don't get me wrong, he was always a really great teacher. Even his YouTube videos where he would guide you was always helpful, which I did use a lot, so thank you for that, Mr. Brown. He was always very specific with details and never made you feel any less of what you were. After elementary school, majority of my teachers were really strict with the grades or deadlines, which I'm really grateful for because due to that, I am where I am now.
So coming into high school, I was always very nervous because I felt like the teachers were going to be much more stricter. But since the first day of school, Mr. Brown had his dad jokes, which I will always remember because it made me feel comfort in his class. And I'm very thankful for Mr. Brown because he made us write a letter to our future selves so that he could give it to us from our freshman year compared to our senior year. And after reading our letter, I realized that I wrote so much on that letter that had to do with my character. It didn't necessarily have so much about my academics. Sure, I wrote that I wanted to be top 5% and then I wanted good grades and everything like that, but I wrote a lot about my character, being a nice person and being a well-rounded person. Also, I will always remember that for everyone's birthdays, he would always give us one goldfish, which was funny to me because it showed to me that he cared. A lot of teachers would be like, happy birthday or have a great day, which is also very special and important, but it's the fact that he had that small little detail that will really go a long way for me. And lastly, something that I will always remember about Mr. Brown was a time where the class was really upset as a whole. We were really down on energy, and I'm pretty sure he caught on that and he realized, so he took out his guitar and he sang to us before he taught us like the lesson for that day. And I will always appreciate that because it taught to me that we're all human. Just as much as us students want to be respected, so do teachers, and they also value feelings and emotions. So I want to say thank you to Mr. Brown for being that person to me because now as a graduating senior, I see that high school was all about just finding yourself and obviously caring about your grades because I'm here now. So, but I do really value more about the type of person that I am and the type of people that I surround myself with. So thank you very much, Mr. Brown.
Hi, my name is Alan Martinez, and I chose Ms. Bell as my most influential educator. The reason I chose Ms. Bell is because she's helped me develop myself not only as a student, but as a person in general. One thing I truly appreciate about her is that she truly cares about your development and your growth, not only like in the classroom but outside. She truly pushes you to always work hard, be dedicated. And also those are some of the traits that she's given me. She's taught me, especially during class club, she's taught me to always never give up, push myself, and also just be me, be myself, and always work hard to achieve that. Because of Ms. Bell, I've been able to become more confident and just believe in myself, and that's why I just want to say thank you, Ms. Bell, for everything that you've done for me.
Good afternoon, my name is Palak Gupta, and for my most influential educator, I chose Mr. Hector Estrada. Mr. Estrada, as a principal and educator, had consistently shown the commitment to creating a safe and nurturing learning environment. He built relationships with students that I've never seen before. He made everyone feel valued and heard at the same time. His approach created a school culture where everyone felt valued and they felt heard. Without his help and guidance, I would have never reached where I am today. Even after he left the school, he never failed to give me a recommendation letter, a reference. Whenever I needed it, he would always be there to help me with that. He taught me that sometimes life is not that serious and that sometimes you just have to relax and kind of take things with a grain of salt, whether that's criticism you receive from people or anything like that. He taught me to always go for opportunities that come my way, to never let anything hold me back, and to make sure that I take advantage of all the opportunities that come my way. I was never one to go for anything I wanted, but Mr. Estrada taught me that sometimes fighting for what you want is very important in order to get it. He taught me that sometimes you will not get what you need because you don't go for it. If you don't fight for what you want, you're never going to be able to reach your goals. He created such a nice environment for students and for teachers that made everyone feel heard. The connections that he built with students is something that I will never forget. Mr. Estrada, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for all your students and all the teachers. I want to thank you for creating such a good environment for all the students. And I want to thank you for always having my back no matter what I needed or where I was at my life.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Nicholas, and I chose Mrs. Hicks as my most influential teacher. When I think of an influential teacher, I envision someone with a big and bright smile who has a passion for wanting to see their students succeed. With that being said, this is why I chose Mrs. Hicks as my most influential teacher. I have had Mrs. Hicks as my teacher for my sophomore, junior, and now senior year of high school. Without a doubt, each day she has welcomed me with a positive attitude that just radiates off of her. Quite honestly, it is impossible to be in a bad mood around Mrs. Hicks. In the summer before my sophomore year, I was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis, which at times limits the functionality of my hands. It is not something that I talk about often or use to gain sympathy, but Mrs. Hicks noticed that something was off. She was one of the first people that I felt comfortable talking about this ailment with. Her compassion, caring, and understanding helped me discover ways to deal with this new aspect of my life. She never hesitated to help me find new ways to perform simple tasks to limit the immense pain I was feeling in my hands. Even now, she continues to ask me how I'm doing when it comes to my arthritis, and she has recommended alternative solutions which have helped me. She gave me the confidence to no longer be afraid of my future. Junior year for me was a very challenging year as I balanced my honors classes, JTED, and friendships. This was a stressful time for me, and it led to me often dreading school. But when it came to time to go to Mrs. Hicks's class for a second period, I became excited. Mrs. Hicks has always made an effort to make connections with her students, which makes her feel like more than just a teacher. During my junior year especially, she instantly knew when something was wrong and would listen to me, which always made me feel better. She allowed me to take time to disconnect from everything I had going on in my personal life, which is why her class soon became the one I looked forward to. This year, I did not start off by having Mrs. Hicks as my teacher, but when our internship program was left without an instructor at the end of the first semester, Mrs. Hicks once again selflessly stepped up. She was left with additional responsibilities, which she effortlessly accepted. Because of her, our sports medicine internship has been able to continue. Going into high school, I had my heart set on becoming a veterinarian. As I chose my CTE classes for my sophomore year, I decided to give sports medicine a try, and I can confidently say that this is one of the greatest decisions that I have made. The sports medicine program has helped me explore a passion that I didn't even know I had, and it has grown larger and stronger as I've worked my way through sports medicine 1, 2, and now the internship. With that being said, I'm sure others would agree that sports med would not be the same without Mrs. Hicks. Being in the gifted program all throughout elementary and middle school, I was not sure what high school would be like without that support. Being a gifted student, my way of learning is different. Simply looking through slideshows and completing worksheets does not work for me. When it comes to Mrs. Hicks's teaching style, it is different from the traditional way of teaching. Instead of having us constantly sitting in front of a board and copying down notes, she has always made the effort to think outside of the box and include something hands-on. For example, with anatomy, it is often difficult to identify certain muscles and bones. Mrs. Hicks would have us stand up and find these structures on ourselves and discover their particular functions. Due to this interactive approach to learning, I have been able to retain information I've learned in her class much better than information from all of my other classes, and for that, I am extremely grateful. In the end, Mrs. Hicks has helped shape me into the person I am today. Her comforting nature, positive attitude, and passion for helping people learn and become better is exactly why she has remained my favorite teacher for all 3 years that I have known her. Because of her, I know how much I enjoy learning about the human body, and she has helped lay a foundation with the fundamentals that I will need to be a successful physician assistant, doctor, or whatever I decide. Mrs. Hicks will always have a special place in my heart, and I am immensely thankful for her.